Shock Brexit charges are hurting us, say small British businesses.
Here's a summary of the article.
Government ministers describe the post-Brexit headaches that British exporters have suffered since the 1st of January as mere teething problems. Small UK companies such as Paul's, which thrived as part of the EU single market, are saying they may have no future at all in exporting into continental Europe because of the crippling new costs. We did everything we could to prepare for Brexit and are part of the DTI's export champion community, says Paul. Since the 1st of January, his firm, like other UK exporters, has been hit by 3 new charges. As far as I can see, currently, companies like ours in the UK are not going to be able to do end sales to customers in the EU anymore. Particularly, small orders for anything under £100 will be completely impossible, says Paul. The new export levies, which he says will amount to £160,000 a year for Leon Paul, are first, a Brexit charge, as the couriers are calling it, an export fee of £4.50 for every parcel shipped to the EU to cover costs of extra administration and form filling that couriers must carry out. That is the reality. All of these fees will come straight off profit margins. We might save some of the increased costs of doing business in Europe by setting up a warehouse there, and thereby avoid paying charges on every consignment, but we would have to make redundancies in our warehouse here and reduce the size of the business footprint in the UK. We are of course a relatively small business, but all exporters will be hit with similar charges. The Prime Minister has said he recognised that businesses are being affected by these problems and that there would be compensation for businesses affected. While obviously we want the problems to be resolved, it's really important that those businesses that have lost significant amounts of money, fishing businesses and processing businesses, are able to be compensated for the losses because they have been significant. And we want to see the details of that scheme come forward as quickly as we can.
This post received a score of 10,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
What were leavers expecting? We joined the EU to do away with all the fees and red tape. Leaving it wasn't going to make it easier.
£350 million a week. SOVERIGNTY. No more people with funny accents and foreign languages on the bus. No bloody Spanish trawlers stealing our fish. Fruit and veg rotting in the field. The best are the ones who live in Spain and voted for Brexit, but are now shocked they can't live in Spain. Typical exceptionalist entitlement.
Greater than Dave bought his Spanish holiday home after voting to leave but told Mr. Jenkins that he regretted his vote. He told the journalist the main factor in his change of heart was the loss of freedom of movement in Europe, for the proper Europeans. A blanket statement saying that he's a POS racist. He only considers himself a proper European.
Well, at least he got what he wanted. It did end up with only the proper Europeans being allowed freedom of movement.
Imagine thinking like they do, only to find yourself on the wrong end of being right like that guy did. Oh, only movement for proper Europeans? True, that's a great idea. You stay right here then.
They aren't hurting the right people. It never gets old. The year of the leopards and a pandemic of faces being eaten.
I saw this video of one of the Capitol rioters from the US being arrested in an airport. He shouted, "You're treating me like some black man." It said it all.
You've all heard about the entire "they're taking over" spiel those types do, and it always strikes me as interesting that they fear that. It's almost like they're scared they'll be treated as awfully as the minority does today.
Greater than it's almost like they're scared they'll be treated as awfully as the minority does today. The only thing they have to say they're exceptional is the color of their skin. Take a second and think how low that standard is. It should be no surprise they would turn to terrorism. If they're going down, why not take everyone with them? I read somewhere that the fishing industry in the UK is mad at the prospect of complications in selling to the EU. Out of curiosity I googled, did fishing industry vote to leave the EU? 92% voted to leave. I have very little sympathy.
Greater than I have very little sympathy. Pretty much equally 8%.
With disbursements and administration fees, take-home sympathy is more like 3%.
LMAO UK fish exporters are unable to sell into European markets because of delays at borders and complain that Boris Johnson and others misled them about Brexit. Weren't these guys some of the most zealous Brexiteers? Cause MUH Fish and Rights. Fuck these guys.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.